Life isn't about waiting for some magical moment where everything suddenly makes sense. It's about what you choose to do right now in this moment. Too many of us spend our lives chasing someone else's definition of success, money, titles, likes, approval, yet deep down we feel empty. The truth is, the purpose of life isn't to please others or to hit some imaginary finish line. The purpose of life is to live it fully, intentionally, and authentically. You were not born to play small. You were not put here to simply exist. You were put here to grow, to learn, to serve, and to create impact. And that doesn't mean you need to change the whole world. It means you need to change your world. The real purpose of life is to wake up each day and ask yourself, am I living with intention? Am I doing what makes me proud? Am I giving more than I take? Every single one of us has a unique voice, a unique story, and a unique path. Purpose isn't something you find hidden in a book or waiting at the end of your career. Purpose is built in the daily choices you make. It's built in how you treat people. It's built in whether you have the courage to follow your heart instead of living by fear. Stop overcomplicating it. The true purpose of life is to love deeply, to grow constantly, and to give generously. When you live from that place, your life won't just look successful on the outside. It will feel meaningful on the inside. And that is what we are all searching for. Life's purpose is not to exist, it's to live fully and intentionally. Existing is easy. Anyone can wake up, go through the same routine, do the bare minimum, and collapse into bed at night only to repeat the cycle the next day. That is surviving, not living. Living fully and intentionally means stepping into each day with awareness, with clarity, and with the courage to act in ways that align with your values and dreams. It's about making choices rather than drifting through life on autopilot. Too many people live as if they have all the time in the world, but the reality is life is happening now, in this very moment. Waiting for the perfect time is a trap because there is no perfect time. The only time you get to truly live is today. To live fully requires presence. It means putting down your phone, looking into someone's eyes when they speak, appreciating the colors of a sunset, or simply being grateful for the breath you're taking right now. Most of us get caught in the loop of either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, and in that cycle, we forget to experience the gift of the present. Living intentionally means you notice where your attention goes, and you redirect it when you realize you're lost in distractions. You choose what deserves your energy instead of letting everything pull you in every direction. Living intentionally also means understanding your why. Why are you working at that job? Why are you in that relationship? Why do you wake up every morning and do what you do? When you start asking yourself those questions, you begin to uncover the deeper reasons behind your actions. If the answers don't align with your core values or long-term vision, then it's a sign you need to make changes. Living with intention doesn't mean you need to overhaul your life overnight. It means you take small, conscious steps each day toward the life you actually want. It's not about perfection, it's about direction. Choosing to live fully doesn't mean every moment will feel magical or that you won't face challenges. Life will always have struggles, pain, and setbacks. But when you're intentional, even the hard moments have meaning. They teach you, they strengthen you, and they move you closer to who you're meant to be. When you're merely existing, setbacks feel like roadblocks. When you're living fully, setbacks feel like lessons. That shift in perspective changes everything. Living fully also means embracing joy, laughter, and experiences, not just responsibilities and obligations. Too often people put off happiness until they retire, until they make a certain amount of money, or until circumstances look a certain way. But life isn't waiting. Joy is available in the little things if you choose to notice it. The coffee in your hand, the smile of a loved one, the freedom of choosing how you spend your day. These are pieces of a full life that many overlook. Ultimately, To live fully and intentionally means refusing to let life pass by unnoticed. It's deciding that your time, your energy, and your actions will add up to something you're proud of. It's not about the number of years you get, but the quality of the days within them. Existing simply counts the days. Living fully makes the days count. Stop chasing other people's definition of success and start creating your own. One of the biggest traps we fall into is believing that success is a one-size-fits-all formula. We're conditioned from an early age to follow a script: get good grades, go to college, land a stable job, buy a house, start a family, retire comfortably. For some, that may feel fulfilling, but for many others, it feels like wearing clothes that don't quite fit. You can walk around in them, but they're not made for you. When you chase someone else's definition of success, you risk spending your entire life running toward a finish line that doesn't even matter to you. The truth is, success is deeply personal. What feels like success for one person may feel empty for another. Some people thrive in high-powered careers, leading teams and managing big projects. Others feel most alive when they're creating art, raising children, traveling, or working quietly behind the scenes. Neither is better than the other, it only matters whether it aligns with your soul. Yet, so many people ignore their inner voice and instead chase what society, family, or peers tell them matters. They collect degrees, promotions, cars, or status symbols, thinking each one will finally deliver happiness, only to discover that the emptiness remains. Creating your own definition of success starts with asking yourself honest questions. What do I actually value? What makes me feel proud? Not because others are watching, but because I know it's true for me. If money, approval, and comparison were off the table, what would I spend my days doing? These questions peel away the layers of conditioning and point you toward your authentic goals. Success that is self-defined might not make sense to everyone else, but it doesn't have to. It only has to make sense to you. This doesn't mean that pursuing traditional markers of success, like wealth or recognition, is wrong. The problem arises when those goals aren't truly yours. If building a business lights you up, pursue it with everything you've got. But if your heart longs for a simpler life, filled with meaningful connections and personal freedom, then don't let the noise of the world convince you that you're aiming too small. Small is only small when you're comparing yourself to someone else's mountain. On your own path, your dream is big enough. When you stop chasing someone else's definition of success, you free yourself from constant comparison. You stop looking sideways at what others are doing and start looking forward at what you're building. You stop measuring your worth by someone else's highlight reel and instead measure it by your own growth, your own joy, and your own impact. That's when life starts to feel meaningful because you're no longer performing, you're living. At the end of the day, the only definition of success that matters is the one that makes you feel alive when you wake up in the morning and content when your head hits the pillow at night. Success isn't about how it looks from the outside, it's about how it feels on the inside. And when you create your own definition of success, you finally give yourself permission to live a life that's truly yours. Purpose is not found, it's built through daily choices, actions, and courage. So many people spend years of their lives waiting for clarity, hoping for some lightning bolt moment where their true calling magically appears. They think purpose is hidden somewhere, like a treasure chest at the end of a map, and once they discover it, everything will suddenly fall into place. But that's not how it works. Purpose doesn't appear out of thin air. It is created step by step through the way you live each day and the choices you dare to make. Every single action you take, no matter how small, either brings you closer to a life of meaning or keeps you stuck in a cycle of aimless existence. Purpose is in the moments you decide to show up when it's easier to quit, in the conversations where you choose honesty over convenience, in the work where you put in effort not because you have to, but because you care. These small intentional choices stack up over time to create a foundation of purpose. It's not one grand decision, it's 1,000 little ones. The truth is, purpose requires courage. It takes courage to listen to your heart when the world pressures you to follow the crowd. It takes courage to pursue what excites you when fear whispers that you're not good enough. It takes courage to risk failure, to make mistakes, and to keep going anyway. Many people never build their purpose because they let fear paralyze them. They wait until they feel confident, but confidence doesn't come first. Action does, and through consistent action, courage grows and purpose takes shape. Another key to building purpose is paying attention to where your energy flows. Notice the activities that light you up, the work that makes hours pass without you realizing, the conversations that leave you feeling inspired instead of drained. These are clues. Purpose isn't always about a career or a grand mission. It's about aligning your daily actions with what truly matters to you. Maybe your purpose is found in creating, teaching, serving, building, or nurturing. It doesn't have to look impressive to others. It only has to feel authentic to you. It's important to understand that purpose isn't static. It evolves as you do. What felt meaningful at one stage of your life may shift as you grow and change. That's not a sign you're lost. It's a sign you're alive. The key is to keep moving forward, to keep choosing with intention, and to keep asking, does this align with who I want to become? When you make choices from that place, you are actively shaping your purpose every single day. Waiting for purpose keeps you stuck. Building it frees you. The more you take action, the clearer your path becomes, and the more courage you show in following it, the more purposeful your life feels. Purpose is not something you discover once and for all. It's something you create and recreate through the way you choose to live. Growth, love, and contribution are the real measures of a meaningful life. When people think about meaning, they often tie it to external achievements, status, wealth, or recognition. But deep down, none of those things sustain fulfillment. They might give a temporary rush, but it fades quickly. What lasts, what fills your heart and soul, are the experiences where you grew as a person, the moments when you loved deeply and received love in return, and the times when you made a difference in someone else's life. Those three things, growth, love, and contribution, are the compass points that guide you toward a life you can look back on with pride. Growth is essential because life is always moving forward. You are either evolving or staying stagnant, and staying stagnant eventually leads to frustration. Growth doesn't have to mean massive leaps all the time. It can be small but consistent steps, learning a new skill, facing a fear, developing patience, or simply becoming a little stronger and wiser each day. These are all forms of growth. When you commit to growth, you expand your potential, and with every step, you feel more alive. Without growth, even success feels empty because you're not stretching into who you could be. Love is another pillar of a meaningful life. At the end of the day, it's not the accolades or possessions people remember most. It's the connections, the laughter you shared with friends, the support of family, the quiet moments of presence with someone who matters. All of that is the fabric of meaning. Love isn't just romantic. It's how you show up with kindness, compassion, and authenticity for others and for yourself. Too often people chase goals while neglecting relationships, only to realize later that connection was the real treasure all along. When you give love freely and allow yourself to receive it, life takes on a richness that nothing else can replace. Contribution is what ties growth and love together. It's about giving back, serving, and leaving an imprint on the world around you. Contribution doesn't always mean building charities or making headlines. It can be as simple as helping a neighbor, mentoring a colleague, or uplifting a stranger with a kind word. Every act of contribution matters because it ripples outward. It reminds you that your life is not just about you. It's about the impact you create, When you contribute, you not only help others, you also experience a deeper sense of purpose yourself. A life measured by growth, love, and contribution is a life well lived. These are the things that endure long after the noise of accomplishments fades. They shape who you become, how you connect, and what legacy you leave behind. When you focus on these three, you stop chasing hollow markers of success and instead build a life that feels full, intentional, and deeply meaningful. The true purpose of life is not about changing the whole world, but changing your world. Too many people get stuck believing they have to do something grand, something newsworthy, something that shakes the planet to matter. They compare themselves to leaders, innovators, and icons, thinking that if they don't achieve on that scale, their life somehow lacks purpose. But the truth is, meaning doesn't come from changing millions of lives. It comes from the way you influence the lives within your reach. It's not about scale, it's about impact. Changing your world means starting with yourself. You can't expect to influence others if you're not willing to grow, to heal, and to become the kind of person you'd want to follow. When you work on yourself, your mindset, your habits, your choices, you begin to shape the environment around you. Your energy, your actions, and your example affect the people closest to you, and from there the ripple spreads. Change doesn't need a stage. It begins in your home, in your relationships, in your community, in the everyday choices you make. Think about the people who have left the greatest marks on your life. Most of them aren't world famous. They might be a teacher who believed in you, a parent who sacrificed for you, a friend who stood by you, or even a stranger who showed you unexpected kindness. They didn't change the whole world, but they changed your world. That's proof that influence doesn't need to be massive to be meaningful. When you focus on changing your world, you give yourself permission to stop comparing and start contributing. You stop waiting for the perfect opportunity and realize that opportunities are all around you, in your work, in your conversations, in the way you treat others. Holding a door open, listening without judgment, encouraging someone when they doubt themselves, sharing your knowledge, or simply showing up consistently. These small acts shape lives. They may not trend on social media, but they matter in ways that can't be measured. Changing your world also means honoring your unique role. Not everyone is meant to be a global leader or a public figure, but everyone is meant to matter. Your role might be raising a family, creating art that inspires, starting a business that serves, or being the reliable friend who others lean on. Whatever your role looks like, when you embrace it fully, you create change where it counts most. The beauty of focusing on your world is that it naturally creates ripples. The kindness you show one person spreads to the way they treat another. The courage you model inspires someone else to take their own leap. The effort you put into making your corner of the world better can quietly extend far beyond what you'll ever see. You may not change the entire world, but by changing your world, you contribute to the collective good of all. A meaningful life isn't measured by how many people know your name. It's measured by how deeply you've touched the people who do. When you shift your focus from the overwhelming pressure of changing everything to the powerful reality of changing something, you begin to live your purpose in the most real and impactful way possible. At the end of the day, the true purpose of life isn't about chasing someone else's version of success or waiting for a moment of clarity to arrive. It's about choosing to live fully, defining your own path, building purpose through action, growing through challenges, loving deeply, contributing meaningfully, and making a difference in your own world. If you focus on these truths, your life will not only feel richer, but will also leave a legacy that matters. Thank you for giving me the chance to share these thoughts with you today. And thank you for choosing to be present, open, and willing to reflect on what truly gives life meaning.